had that poise that we are so used to seeing out of Nicole May in the circle. But love to see her with the ball again today against a solid Liberty team. And these teams matched up last night. And again, the Sooners in control for the most part. So much of that, I feel like, going back to the circle in Kelly Maxwell's outing. But we're going to get underway as Rachel Roop stands in to lead it off and take a quick look at the batting lineup for Liberty. As Rachel Roop is leading it off, Brooke Roberts in the 2-hole and Savannah Jesse in the 3. Popped up on the infield. Tiare Jennings gonna take care of it, and you gotta love it. Much better start already for Nicole May.
This was an offense that was 2 hit by Kelly Maxwell last night. 7 strikeouts that they had against the lefty curveball. And guys, this is a potent offense.
Yep.
I mean, just in Rachel Roop, the leadoff, a 457 junior. The average on the air, 6 home runs, and they sit her down with a pop-up.
And I'm just watching, and again, we've had so many years of being able to call games with Nicole May in the circle. Different demeanor already. She's working quicker. We're seeing a little bit, it's not as methodical as I feel like we saw yesterday. A nice location, just misses a little low.
It's worth painting the picture too, just to give it context, because this wasn't just any game that she started. It was the first game ever played in Love's Field, the home opener of this season. 4,600 people, give or take a few, in this stadium. It was a rushed start. This team had never physically stepped foot on this playing surface before. So there was a lot going on. Now, I can tell you it's not an excuse for her.
No.
She would tell you that. But it was a lot. It felt like a lot.
Well, and let's also take a look at the fact you've got a team also undefeated on the season, riding the longest win streak that is now up to 70. There are so many different layers that I don't even think that no one will really truly ever know unless you're close to this program, of some of the ins and outs of what some of these players and staff are going through on a daily basis. And again, it's not an excuse for anybody in any way, shape, or form, but lots of moving parts. Skied high to center field, and Jada Coleman will take care of it. Back-to-back pop-ups for Nicole May to bring up the freshman Savannah Jesse. Again, gotta love to see hammering the strike zone and establishing the zone early.
May just wanting to rinse off that first outing yesterday as quick as she can. The best way to control that is to hammer the zone early. She wasn't able to do that yesterday.
Another pop-up. If it stays, it'll play, and it looks like Kinsey Hansen underneath it, but the wind took it just a bit. And that's not something we see often.
Yeah, it's the shadows.
Yep.
And that's really what I'm looking at. I am even struggling to get used to this overhang. This stadium is built down into the ground, so it's this bird's eye kind of view, the fans looking down onto the play. And there's a shadow that we're seeing for the first time. We're not used to this from our previous playing surfaces. So,
and the way that the shadows are hitting are completely different than Marita Hines. And I noticed it yesterday and talked to Ryan Wondrosik about this as well, but I never once saw the Sooner dugout with sun. And I'm still yet to see it. So the entire left side of this field and in the stands as well are shaded. Day like yesterday, a little chilly. Thankful in May, probably. But one of those unknown factors that teams are figuring out this weekend. Ground ball to the left side. Foul ball. But what a play by Alyssa Brito, finishing.
She's got a hose. It's one thing just to glove this ball, but to know that you have the arm strength to hurl it across the field and in time. This was called foul.
But barehanded.
It's unbelievable.
And I held for a minute. I'm going, It's tough to tell from our vantage point, fair or foul. And Nicole May retires the side to start the game. And that's the Nicole May we love. Steve Pickering in the 5, and Riley Ludlam getting another start. But Aaron, she is really coming into her own.
She's earned it. She got an opportunity in game 1 of this weekend. RBI single from a pinch hit. And she hasn't left the lineup since.
Jada Coleman back in the leadoff spot in the 9-hole in game 1 today against Louisiana. Coleman 0 for 1 in the nightcap last night against Liberty. Drew a walk and had an RBI. And Katie Love, the freshman, getting the call for the Liberty Flames. 0-2 on the season with a 21 ERA. And Jada Coleman getting things moving in the leadoff spot. And just good piece of hitting through the 5-6 hole.
So much movement in the lineup. We've seen Riley Boone in the leadoff. She's now in the 8-hole. We've seen Coleman in the 6-hole. She's now in the leadoff. Lena Torres now in the 9-hole. Again, I said this last game. Yep. You might as well just draw names out of a hat.
Brito has been hot, to say the least, at the plate. 3 for 3 in game 1 today with 3 doubles, 3 runs scored. Seeing the ball well. Understatement.
I'm looking right now on 643 charts of just the heat map for Katie Love, the right-handed thrower in the circle. She is all over the zone. Yep. There really isn't a distinct scouting on this arm. You're gonna have to just pick a zone, pick a speed, and sit on it. I mean, truly, she just spreads all 4 quadrants. I don't know that we've seen an arm like this yet in the tournament that doesn't have a clear scouting report.
And when you're working off of a pitcher, you don't, it's tough because we use this terminology a lot, Aaron, of saying, well, she works east to west, she works north to south, right? And when you have a pitcher who is able to work all quadrants in the way that Katie Love is, you have to zone something off, right? How does your game plan change? And this is a team offensively that we know makes adjustments. Count runs full to Brito. Seeing that average creep up to 460. Now leading this offense. Skied high to the right side, and it's into that no man's land. But we'll do the 3-2 again, and I get so interested to see how the corners down left and right field play, because again, we talked about it earlier today, Aaron, about how it's such a different layout than what we had at Marita Hines. I'm curious to see the first fantastic play in one of those corners.
I'm sitting here just flipping back and forth in my scorebook, just comparing Oklahoma lineups. I mean, this lineup here against Liberty is completely, and I mean completely revamped, 1 through 9. Pickering now down to the 5-hole. She was in the 2-hole against Louisiana. Brito moving up to the 2nd position of this 1 through 9. She was previously in the 3rd hole. Kinsey Hansen now in the 4-hole.
Tiare Jennings lacing it to the right side of the field. Jada Coleman held up at 3rd, but that'll load him up for Kinsey Hansen. And just what a good piece of hitting going down.
Below the kneecaps.
Yes.
She's able to see the pitch deep. That's exactly where you want to hit that location. If you pull that pitch, you're rolling right over into third base. That's the hope there. Katie Love hits that location against Tiare Jennings, hoping she can get a rollover ground ball for a double play. But what high IQ timing there at the plate for Tiare Jennings. Bases juiced for Kinsey Hansen. She was the hero in day one. That tie ball game going into the bottom of the 7th against Miami of Ohio. A super senior.
And how many, I mean, we could make an entire reel of moments of Kinsey Hansen coming up huge. You know, I go back to the Clemson game last year at the Super Regional. It's just, she has this ability that you can't teach, right? It's tough to teach being able to step up in the biggest moments, and we've seen Kinsey Hansen do it time and time again. But meeting over, and the freshman in a jam here, nobody out and bases juiced for Kinsey Hansen. Cassidy Pickering waits on deck. Ground ball right back to her. Shot to roll 2, and they will. And just like that, 2 outs and runners at second and third, and Katie Love making a pitch.
You've got to love that if you're Katie Love. An easy ground ball, you're able to tag, throw to first. Double play, that is a huge, underline, huge double play.
Cassidy Pickering stands in, looking to take advantage of the runners in scoring position early in this game. And, you know, Aaron, you just touched on it. These are the types of moments you look back to later in the game and you go, this is what set the tone, right? Yeah. Absolutely. So Pickering, an opportunity here to change the trajectory of this game. Good count here, 3-0. And, you know, as a coach, as a pitcher, you make the pitch to Kinsey Hansen to get the double play, and then following it up with a 4-pitch walk to a freshman.
I know. It's kind of like those small, unwritten rules within our game that unless you're deeply entrenched in softball, they kind of just fly over your head. That is totally one.
And it is 5 balls in a row as Riley Ludlam takes the first pitch she sees low. The Sooners trying to take advantage of a bases loaded opportunity here in the bottom of the first. And Katie Love all of a sudden having a hard time finding the zone.
Watching the grip of Katie Love, you've got more of the pitching eye, DJ, for this, but really cupping the ball. And I'm trying to see if it's every single pitch. I want a little bit less of a roll up that forearm. I typically don't ever key in on grips like that, but it just stuck out to me that she really cups that ball. And I just wonder if this is something that Oklahoma's dugout or even in the box as a hitter that they're keying in on.
And off the shin of Ludlam. And we've said that name a lot here lately. Riley Ludlam has been hot at the plate, and she hit an absolute laser.
We weren't sure if this was out,
one.
but it hit off the rail just behind the fence and bounced back into the field. I mean, it got out in a hurry.
It did. It was hit on such a line and hit so hard that we had a hard time calling it because I thought it was going to bounce off the wall.
I did too.
But Riley Ludlam just putting good swings on the ball and just looking poised in the box. Taking a moment after fouling the ball off her shin and going to get back to it. 2-2, bases loaded. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. And Liberty gets out of it as Reagan Barrett shuts it down in the fresh.
It's limiting the damage, and guess what they did? They did. They got out of a bases-loaded jam in the first inning, a scoreless inning for the Sooners after juicing it with no outs. It was big time.
And talk about a change of momentum, man. Ooh. I mean, Nicole May retired the side to start the game.
To get a Kinsey Hansen to roll over into a bases-loaded double play, wow.
Doesn't happen often. Haley Dieter laces one, but right at Riley Boone in left field, and it is 4 straight retired for Nicole May. Let's take a look at the OU defense. Sydney Sanders getting the start at first base, with Alina Torres at second, Tiara Jennings at short, and Alyssa Brito at third. Riley Boone in left, Jada Coleman in the no-fly zone in center field, and Cassidy Pickering in right, with Kinsey Hansen rounding out the battery. And Alyssa Brito, as she always does, looking smooth and collected to retire MC Wilson. Nicole May is working efficiently.
She looks completely different than yesterday. Already through an inning and 2/3 here. Control, her pace of play is drastically different. She doesn't feel tense. Feels like she's played in the stadium now once.
It's amazing how that works.
It's amazing how that works.
And line drive right back up the middle.
Wow.
And Jada Coleman says, take a big turn, please. But Sierra Kirsten with the first base hit of the game, absolutely laced right back up the middle.
Let's see where this pitch is located. Yeah, this was a missed location. I can see the look back. I don't know if you catch it there, but Nicole May actually turns back around to lock eyes with Kinsey Hansen after this is hit. You can see the nod there back to Hansen. I think she knew she missed her spot. For Kirsten, though, to make her pay for it. That's how you don't miss a shot.
Exactly.
Pitcher makes a mistake and you make her pay for it.
And that's one thing in the start yesterday against Miami of Ohio we saw offensively from the Redhawks. Lots of missed pitches coming from the OU pitching staff. However, opportunities taken by Miami of Ohio. Nicole May at a pitcher's count here. No balls and 2 strikes. The runner at first and 2 outs here in the top of the second. The senior Megan Fortner looks to extend the inning. Good job by Kinsey Hansen.
Heck of a snag. I think she had a little giggle back there too.
And this is where I want to see Nicole May
Yep.
come back and make a quality pitch. Something we talked about that we saw in her start yesterday was not having competitive misses. I like the location with the screwball in on the knee, and Nicole May gives a little grin, but good to see the response and spotting up a little bit from Nicole May.
A 2-strike count. We're seeing Kirsten in motion at first base on that swing.
Payoff pitch from May. Popped up, and it's going to get out of play. We'll do it again. Fortner battling, having a good at-bat. The senior hitting .222 on the year. And called third strike. A little bit of a delayed call as the pitch got away from Hansen, but Nicole May gets her looking. We head to But pretty cool to see the drove of alums who have come out. Kelly Breich here as well.
Warren Chamberlain was in the house yesterday.
Ashley Barrett. List goes on and on and on.
Some of the greats.
It was pretty big time, man. Pretty big time. Katie Love back to work for the Flames. Worked around a bases loaded, nobody out jam. Sid Sanders back in the starting lineup. And takes a 2-0 right down the pipe.
Just wondering how long we're kind of going to see the chess game of these starting lineups continue to go. We're 17 games into the season. Yep. And Oklahoma's still making some drastic changes to 1 through 9 in their starting order. We don't see a lot of surprises on defense. We know what you're going to see in the circle. Pretty in-depth pitching staff. But looking at the numbers, looking at what you and I have seen over the past now 3 games, just I'm trying to put my mind into Patty Gasso and understand kind of some of the decision making with the starting order.
Hit well, but hooked foul. But you hear all the oohs and ahs, and rightfully so. You know, and Aaron, you know, we've talked about it a lot, but the depth that this team has, but also, again, trying to find the right formula of how are you going to get the most run production. And struck well. Wow. And that's going to get out of here in a hurry. Sydney Sanders puts the Sooners on the board with 1 swing of the bat. And there's the power that everyone knows the junior has, and just putting an absolute swing on a ball. Make it 1-0.
When your 7-hole can swing a bat like that, trying to pick where to put that power feels like splitting hairs at this point. This ball was smashed. That was mid-shin.
Yep.
Almost golfs for this pitch. This is not a bad pitch. I want to state this. Katie Love has done a tremendous job now through a full inning. And facing this lineup for the last 3 hitters before it turns over, that is not a bad pitch.
That home run's brought to you by Oklahoma Oil and Natural Gas as Riley Boone stands in the 8-hole. And you took the words right out of my mouth, Aaron. That pitch was at the shin. And quality location.
You can't get mad at that location.
No, not at all. Pretty good pitch from the freshman as she falls behind 2 balls and no strikes to Riley Boone. And we've seen, I mean, Katie Love, she's made some pitches so far. It's still early, but I mean, she's made some pitches so far in this ball game and hit some good spots. And here is where you see what the freshman is made of mentally, right? This huge crown, gives up the home run on a pretty good pitch. And now behind here, 3 balls and no strikes.
As a freshman, facing a team that's chasing a 4-peat, their new house, it's electric, you're bound to give up a bomb on a good pitch. It's not going to make or break you. You just got to take it and move on.
And you walk away from it, and it was a solo shot, right? I'm going to be honest. Sometimes the stringing things together and that slow burn is worse, right? You just give up the solo shot and move on. Riley Boone is on her horse, but Reagan Barrett throws on the run and gets rid of her for the first out of the inning. And Liberty is a very solid defensive team.
This is what I'm really liking about the Flames. We saw it yesterday as well. The double play gets him out of the jam back in the first inning. Guys, this is a hard play to make. You see Byram at third base put on the brakes because she knows that Barrett's going to come through that ball. So it was an off-foot throw across the body. It's big time.
Alina Torres stands in the 9-hole. And again, we've talked a ton about the shakeups of this offensive lineup. Alina Torres started game 1 in the 5 slot. Katie Love. One thing I noticed in this inning, falling behind batters, and if you look at Katie Love's stat line, 6 walks in 4 and 2/3 innings thrown. And Torres laces it in the right center field gap. Should be a stand-up double, and Alina Torres gets it done with 1 out here in the 2nd inning, and loving seeing all of this hitting working oppo.
That pitch is right down Broadway. Too sweet to a hitter like Alina Torres, plus knowing that you're gonna have the lineup turned back over. And she sets the table, a runner in scoring position now, and they went out on the board.
Jada Coleman started the game off with a lead-off single, was eventually forced out at home plate as part of a double play for Liberty to work out of a bases-loaded jam back in the 1st. Lifted to left field. It's going to fall in front of Haley Dieter. Torres moves up, and Jada Coleman looking to settle in. Game 1 against Liberty last night. Jada, not typical of what we see, but really putting good swings on the ball here today. So what do you got here? 1st and 3rd. What are you feeling, Aaron?
I think she's gonna call something. I think we're gonna see runners in motion. Kirsten behind the plate stepping out to communicate to the team if there is a runner in motion, what they're gonna do as a defense.
There was just a violation called from what I can see. Home plate. 1st and 3rd, you can see this defense trying to get on the same page and ready to roll, and that clock's ticking. And I feel like it's the first time we've really seen it play a factor. The ball has been taken off the score. So now it is 1-0, and there was no violation, I believe was the consensus.
Well, the play card is out. Patty Gasso is flashing numbers. See what's in motion here, if any at all.
Pitch gets away. Alina Torres will score easily. Jada Coleman off with the pitch, and is going to go from 1st to 3rd. And there's the pressure that, I mean, we see burrito square. Pitch gets away, and
Thought it for a second this was a foul ball, but it wasn't. There was no contact made. This is off the glove of Kirsten, the catcher. I want you to take a look at Jada Coleman. Never puts on the brakes. Doesn't even hesitate.
And laying it down, Jada Coleman. Bit of a base running mistake there.
I thought she was gonna go.
Yep.
It's like a swinging bunt.
She had it.
She did have it.
She had it. I say base running mistake loosely, but she had it. Nonetheless, Sooners on top 2-0, runner at 3rd and 2 outs for Tiare Jennings. Struck well, and it's gonna be long gone. Tiare Jennings with a 2-run shot, making a pair of home runs in the inning. Sooners up 4-zip here in the 2nd. And that pitch was absolutely launched.
It's just a matter of time before Tiare Jennings got a hold of something in here. This one wasn't even close. No question about it. Clears the entire bleachers in the outfield, almost hits the awning.
That home run's brought to you by Oklahoma Oil and Natural Gas. As Kinsey Hansen stands in, trying to get things going again with 2 outs. Hansen grounded into a double play with the bases loaded back in the 1st. And Katie Love you look back at what started this inning, Sydney Sanders with the solo home run on a pretty good pitch, right? Not a bad location. And we're just starting to see misses now as Kinsey Hansen laces through the 5-6 hole for her first hit of the day to bring up freshman Cassidy Pickering. And it looks like that will be the day for the freshman Katie Love. And run the starter Katie Love as Elena Escobar enters the ball game to face Cassidy Pickering with a runner at first and 2 outs. And Escobar, the junior from Spring Hill, Tennessee, 3-0 on the season, 32 2/3 innings thrown. Could say has essentially been the ace for this Liberty Flames pitching staff.
She's all north and south. Rise ball, drop ball, rise ball, drop ball. She's got an off speed that she can throw under the hands. Much different look than Katie Love, who really spreads the wealth over all 4 quadrants. This is truly just picking either high in the zone or low in the zone. There's the off speed low.
Hansen takes off. And there are a few things I love more than a base runner reading the changeup out of the hands. Coach Gasso looking at Hansen going.
I think this was all Hansen.
Yep,
truly
absolutely.
all Hansen. I could see her look over at Coach like, I made a choice.
But here I am, I'm in scoring position.
I made a choice. You can see the smile there.
A full count to Pickering. Drew a walk back in the first. And gonna beat it out at first. Ball gets away, and Kinsey Hansen will slide in safely for the 5th run of the inning. And Cassidy Pickering with a big grin on her face. Third baseman Jemiah Byram did a good job of backhanding it behind the bag, but not able to finish the play, and Pickering finding a way to get it done and make it 5-0.
I'm gonna make note that this run, this RBI, well, because of the error at first base, the mishandling there, a run scored only possible here because of the aggressiveness of Kinsey Hansen, both on the ability to take the extra 60 feet to second base, and then also reading the bobble at first base to then take home. Base running can win you ball games. Base running can change the course of a game. I think, in my humble opinion, it's the most underrated portion of softball. It's not talked about enough.
I agree, wholeheartedly. No, it's not practiced enough, right?
You can catch people on their heels. You can take a lot of square footage on the field. You can take a lot of free bases.
Ella Parker getting a pinch hit opportunity in Riley Ludlam's spot. Ella Parker, one of these players that we've seen in and out of the lineup at times, a freshman. And goes down on strikes. Taking a pitch too close for any strike zone. But not before a little bit of damage. Sooners up 5-0 as we head to work to face the 8-9-1 for the Flames, and Jemiah Byram trying to start chipping away. Byram, the freshman, trying to get something rolling here for Liberty.
Let's go, Jay, let's go. Find the way, get on base, let's go.
I like the spot from May, and I really like this for Nicole May. Again, 5-0 lead. Really good chance for her just to get out there and throw, right? Breathe and let things go a little bit. Pitch with a lead, as they say, right?
Didn't have the breathing room much in game 1 of this weekend. Gave up 3 runs in the first, 2 home runs.
Tiare Jennings will glove it and retire Byram for the first out of the 3rd inning to bring up sophomore Reagan Barrett. And I've been really impressed with Barrett at short defensively. She's done a really good job in the 2 games we've seen.
I think Liberty as a whole has looked great defensively. It's what has kept this team in the fight, despite a 5-run inning in this bottom of the 2nd. I think that this score could be a lot worse.
Oh, no doubt.
It could be. Think about that bases loaded opportunity that Katie Love got herself out of because of that double play. Still a lot of game left to be played here.
May picks up the squib and will get Barrett at first base for the 2nd out of the inning. You hold your breath sometimes on those pitches that come
scary.
off.
They spin like a top.
Coming off the cap of the bat.
You're trying to just make sure that you can get it in the glove and out of the hand as quickly as possible.
And 2 quick outs will roll it back to the top of the lineup for Rachel Roop. Popped up to short her first at bat. Struck well foul. And this is what Roop does. Aggressive at the plate, hitting .447 on the season. 6 home runs, 13 RBI. Leading the charge for this Liberty offense. And hit well to the right side. But Pickering is there to take care of it for the 3rd out of the inning. And Nicole May sits them down in order. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. Sooners up 5. Getting late in that game as well. We'll keep an eye on how that is going. We'll take a look too at some games that are going on around the country. Got some top 25 matchups. Sydney Sanders stands in 1 for 1 and got the scoring rally going with a solo shot. Last inning in the 2nd, Sooners batted around to put up 5 runs.
And she hit a ball that was mid-shin.
Yes.
She went down, she threw the barrel down to it.
And Elena Escobar has entered this game trying to stop the bleeding a bit for Liberty. She falls behind 3 balls and a strike. And Sid Sanders with the walk. That is now, I know she's leading the team in walks. Sydney Sanders, her 10th walk on the season. We're going to see a pinch runner here, Maya Bland, as Riley Boone comes to the plate. I've been excited we've gotten to see Maya Bland more this weekend in different roles. She's gotten some at-bats, pinch run spots as well. Takes off with the pitch. And she'll slide in safely, and just like that.
She almost slid over second base. Almost slid over the bag. So much speed.
And just a good jump.
There's always a difference, too, between quickness and speed, and I feel like she's got both.
Mm-hmm. And talk about speed. Maya Bland at second, Riley Boone at the plate. Riley Boone seeing that average creeping up to 450, 442 so far on the year.
Only 2 hitters in this starting 9 hitting below 300. That's wild.
Coupled with, I mean, I think we're going to talk about it at nauseam, as the line drive over the glove of Byram. Here comes Bland. She will score. And Riley Boone slides in safely to make it 6-0 Sooners. And Riley Boone just letting a ball get deep and taking it the other way.
This is good hitting. Just slices it down the left field line, goes opposite field. It's enough to snag an RBI. Just so well placed by the senior.
Alina Torres stands in, double and a run scored here today.
4 of the starting 9 today hitting over 400. 3 of those over 450. Combined 16 home runs today in the starting 9. I mean, this is just an offense that's wild.
And it's still an offense that it's not set yet, right? I mean, we've seen this lineup get shaken up, not just today, but we've seen a different 1 through 9 every game so far this weekend. And ground ball right back up the middle. Riley Boone gets held up at the last minute. And Alina Torres will stay put at first base. And Torres takes advantage of an opportunity, and there is that base running. We are seeing it today. Aggressive, heads up, and taking advantage of mistakes.
The base running is always there. It has been all weekend, where there's been a little bit of bumpy course for Oklahoma with pitching and hitting. Base running just hasn't wavered. I don't know what number I was looking at, but it's over 25 home runs in the starting 9, not 16. That's the pop we're dealing with. That's the offense we're dealing with here. When you pair that with base running, you pair that with good pitching, and you pair that with lights out defense, where do you go?
It's not a bad day, man.
Where do you go?
It's not a bad day. Avery Hodge into pinch run for Alina Torres at second base. As we roll back up to the top, and Jada Coleman, and it looks like Liberty is going to go back to the bullpen as Coach Fagan makes her way to
a lot of coaches across the nation. There's few that I love more than Dr. Dot Richards.
She's just a good soul.
She is a great human being.
And Jada Coleman asking for time. And I believe probably getting told she's not going to get the call. However, no pitch. And we're going to start the at-bat again as Jada Coleman stands in to face Escobar. Runners at second and third. Now, Dot Richardson is one of the women in the sport who have paved the way for everything. You know what? It makes me so happy that Dr. Dot is here, and a little bit of a check swing, but that she is here for the opening of Loves Field this weekend. Because it's not just about OU softball. It's not just about everything here. It's about the sport as a whole. And check swing from Jada Coleman for strike 2, but laced right at MC Wilson. Here comes Riley Boone, and she will slide in safely and call it a sac fly for Jada Coleman. Avery Hodge stays put at second base, and Sooners up 7-0. Talk about making an adjustment mid-at-bat in Jada Coleman.
After an ugly check swing, way out on the front foot, she sees a pitch deep and laces it up the middle of the field. see if now there's a change. Unsure what the, oh, it's a review. We're going to go to the heads. I think the review, I can almost promise you what the review is if if she left early, if Riley Boone left early at third base. Get a look.
And as during an Olympic year, staying at the hotel, and here's the call, and call will stand. Boone did not leave early on the tag, making it 7-0, but meeting Dot when she was still playing. Had a friend of mine who her family owned a hotel, and that's where the team was staying, and Dr. Dot asked if she could get a cup of milk with ice. And I'll never forget it the rest of my life. But she's done amazing things for this sport, and everything that she is as a person. Gotta love it. We're gonna get back to it. 7-0 Sooners. Avery Hodge at second base with Alyssa Brito in the box. 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Brito 0 for 1 here today. Drew a walk back in the first inning. And facing Escobar for the first time, who's in on relief of Katie Love, the starter.
The way Alyssa Brito prowls in the box, like I'm just being honest. If I'm an opposing pitcher, she is getting under my skin. Like, she's the type of hitter that you're just like, can you stop? Can you just stop? You know what I mean?
She embraces it, though.
You know she's good. You know she's talented. But just the way she moves. I mean, you know, you're a pitcher. There's just hitters that you face that you're just like, oh, I can't get this. I cannot get her. She just gets under your skin.
Brito stays alive. And here's the thing about having the demeanor that you see from Alyssa Brito. If you've got it, you better back it up. And one thing Alyssa Brito does, she backs it up.
I know. I'm just being honest because I had a little bit of that in myself too, of just like cockiness, for lack of a better
I think we can
term,
have that
right?
in common. That's all right.
You have some swagger about you, and Brito has it, and sometimes she turns it up all the way. And I know as an opposing team and as an opposing pitcher, that can just get under you sometimes. But she does. She backs it up. She's a baller.
And speaking of, there's the walk to bring up Tiare Jennings with runners at first and second and 1 out. And Alyssa Brito working a count and having a good at bat to roll it to Tiare Jennings. At a 2-run shot back in the second, and the ball gets away. Avery Hodge and Brito will both move up. Doing just a great job of reading the down angle. And the ball got away from Kirsten, but you could see Avery Hodge noticing the ball in the dirt immediately. Jennings 2 for 2 on the day. The pair RBI. Jammed and right to second baseman Brooke Roberts, and that's a huge out for Escobar.
Katie Love and Escobar have had some major outs throughout this game. I think back to the double play of Hansen, the pop out there of Tiare Jennings.
This game could be out of hand.
This game could have already been completely blown open.
Kenzie Hansen stands in, runners at second and third. And I even go back to, I mean, we saw Jada Coleman start this game with a single, hitting a pretty good pitch. I mean, we've seen some just really good approaches from the Sooners in the box, and at times hitting some pretty good pitches coming from this Liberty pitching staff.
That's what a good hitting team does well, is they hit pitchers' pitches. That's what makes it so hard to face this offense.
Right back, it's gonna get past Escobar, and Hansen's gonna beat it out. Hodge will score, and we'll call it an infield single. The RBI for Hansen makes it 8-0 Sooners. And that's one way to get it done.
You got to take them when you get them. This is a hard-hitting Kinsey Hansen. You can see how deep the infield is playing. Behind the base path, Roberts at second base has nowhere to go but just to try and throw the body into this ground ball, and it's a safe RBI single.
Runners at first and third for Cassidy Pickering. 2 outs. Right back up the middle. Hansen round second. She will be safely at third base. And Cassidy Pickering, second hit of the day. The RBI will make it 9-0 Sooners.
The freshman poking one up the middle of the field. I think now we're going to have a pitching change.
And that'll be the day for Escobar as the Sooners make it 9-0 here in the bottom of the third. We will tell you more about that pitching change when we come back. Sooners up 9-0. Sooners as Ella Parker stands in.
This is still a north and south arm, a little more off speed than what you saw in Escobar, but she's still up and down.
Oob on the season 1-2 with 19 1/3 innings pitched. It's walked 5 and struck out 9. Finds the strike zone there. Make it 2 balls and a strike. Runners at first and third, 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Ella Parker hitting in what was Riley Ludlam's spot. Struck out looking back in the second. And good at bat for Parker as she draws the walk to load him up for Sydney Sanders, and it looks like we're gonna have a pinch runner. Hannah Kaur will head to second base. Bases loaded for Sydney Sanders. And Sid 1 for 1 with the home run that kind of set the tone for this offense back in the second inning. Solo shot to get the scoring moving for the Sooners. Drew a walk back in the third and came around to score. So good day so far in the box for Sydney Sanders. But opportunity here to really and truly put this game, shall I say, out of reach at a point. Bases loaded and 2 outs.
Had an absolute moonshot back in the second inning. One of the farthest hit balls her and Tiara Jennings have just unloaded today.
Sanders led off this inning, so the Sooners have batted around here in the third.
This is that pop I was referring to. A blast golfs this ball off the ground.
Big hack, and we've seen more of that in this game here today, of foul balls off the foot, off the shin. We saw Riley Ludlam with one earlier. Oob ahead here, a ball and 2 strikes, trying to work out of a bases loaded jam. Popped up. Left side on the infield should do it. Reagan Barrett's on her way back, and it's going to get down. Bases will be cleared. And what will be scored a double for Sydney Sanders, a 3 RBI double. Hung up in the air, and you could just see Liberty shortstop Reagan Barrett drifting and drifting and drifting.
So you call this a high sky because there's hardly a cloud in the entire sky. The sun is shining. And with no clouds, I was an outfielder. There can be a little bit of deception with the depth of where the ball is. I'm giving no excuses here because this ball, without a doubt, needs to be caught. It gets you out of an inning. The bases were loaded. That would have been a massive exhale for Liberty and their defense. But instead, no play is made. The sun proves to be an issue, and the bases are cleared. A stand-up double for Sydney Sanders on what should have been a routine flyout.
The 3 RBI for Sydney Sanders makes it 12-0 Sooners in a 7-run 3rd inning as Quincy Lilio steps to the plate. Lilio on the year, trying to get moving, right? She's seen some spot starts, some pinch hit opportunities, but 125 on the year. Seen her defensively come in later in games.
The off-speed pulled foul. It's got to be a pitch now for Lilio that she takes into account, makes an adjustment because of it. Something she's going to have to protect with 2 strikes.
Oob entered this game and inherited runners at 2nd and 3rd. Ground ball to Jemiah Byram. And that'll take care of it, but not before the Sooners put up 7 to make it 12. The start from Nicole May in comparison to 24 hours ago.
I think she feels good about what she did coming in from day 1 into day 2. It was a slow burn for her, kind of a bumpy road in her first start to open the weekend, and getting the ball today, I think she looked in control. Had a fresh set of eyes as she started this game.
Couple of defensive changes for the Sooners. As Hannah Kaur checks in left field, Quincy Lilio in right, and Avery Hodge at 2nd base. You know, Aaron, we've talked a lot about how much we've seen this offensive lineup shake up as far as who's hitting in what spot and this, that, or another. We're also seeing late defensive substitutions in different positions as well.
Yeah, the depth isn't only offensive. The depth is defensive. The depth is running bases. The depth is the pitching staff. It's all of it.
And Brooke Roberts stands in for the Liberty Flames. Flew out to center field back in the 1st inning. Liberty just 1 hit off of Sooner pitching here today, but we've talked about it a lot. This is a potent offense. This is a Liberty team that can swing it. But they have just run into pitchers throwing really well. And we look a night ago, Kelly Maxwell with the shutout. Nicole May facing 1 over the minimum in her start today. So Carly Keeney, an opportunity. Again, I love seeing Keeney in the circle out of the bullpen, an opportunity to maybe wash some things away from a day ago.
I think collectively this team is just looking to settle into their new home just to make it feel good, right? You don't always get that shot in an away field to get a second, third, fourth chance to really find your groove in somebody's house. But this is their house. This is a new home that they've got to make feel like home. That can be jarring the first few times. I think we saw those nerves yesterday. They're starting to kind of dissipate. A much more Sooner-esque team that we've seen in day 2 of this weekend.
Melissa Brito fires it across to retire Brooke Roberts for the first out of the inning to bring up the freshman Savannah Jesse. And, you know, with all of this, with the pitching change and Keeney entering this ball game, interesting situation here. Carly Keeney, a transfer from Liberty, made 34 starts in the Circle for Liberty last year and went 27-12 for the Flames. On the other side of the ball here, Keeney on the season for the Sooners, 2-0. 20 innings pitched.
It's a big cut by the 3-hole. Cade back in the first inning. See Hansen kind of motioning towards Keeney to calm down, kind of a vote of confidence. She quickly falls behind 2 balls here.
And pitch gets away and hits Jesse in the foot to bring up Haley Dieter. And I think we're gonna see Kinsey Hansen. She does this so well. It's just part of who she is. But as I mentioned, Keeney, a transfer from Liberty. This is kind of an interesting situation for her in the Circle, and Hansen knowing that, recognizing it, keeping her focused on the task at hand.
This is an opportunity, and this is a situation that college softball is just going to have to start to grow accustomed to. A transfer pitcher comes to a program and ends up facing her previous program. I mean, we're going to see this. We're probably going to see it at Bedlam. We're going to continue to see these storylines across the U.S. It's just part of it. This is the nature of our sport now, is that players move around, and you got to have a steel brain. You got to have grip on the emotions, because you know you're going to face it.
Dieter 0 for 1 here today, lined out to left field. One of the more well-struck balls we've seen from a Liberty hitter here today. And what a backhand, trying to roll it for 2, and they're gonna get her. Jennings and Avery Hodge roll the pair. And you gotta love it. Tiare Jennings and Avery Hodge making it look smooth.
I'm DJ Sanchez with Erin Miller, Thiessen.
They're both winners in my book.
There you go.
If you've got enough confidence to get on top of the dugout and dance in front of 4,600 people, I think you're both winning.
Avery Hodge in to face Tyler Oob. Hodge hitting in the 9 slot. Jada Coleman on deck here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Sooners on top 12-0 after a 7-run 3rd inning. Tyler Rube in on relief of Escobar, trying to hang a zero, hang a goose egg, find a way to get any sort of momentum in that Liberty dugout. Big hack from Avery Hodge. Count runs full. A lot of games going on today in the top 25 around the country. We'll take a look at some of those as the inning continues. It popped up on the left side, and it's going to get down and pass left fielder Dieter and Avery Hodge in for what will be ruled a stand-up double.
No man's land successfully found by Avery Hodge. This is why you just got to take them when you get them. You've got the speed of Avery Hodge. She sees this ball hits the green, gets by Dieter in left field, and it's a stand-up double for the pinch hitter Hodge.
Jada Coleman stays hot, laces it through the 3-4 hole. Here comes Avery Hodge. She will score into the teens for the Sooners. 13 runs on the board, and Jada Coleman stays hot.
3 for 4 day for Coleman. 3 singles, a fly out, a very hard line drive fly out to center back in the third.
Which was ruled a sac fly.
Yes, I think she's seeing the ball like a beach ball right now at the plate.
Alyssa Brito takes the first offering upstairs. Brito 2 walks here today, came around to score back in the third. If we start looking around and seeing what's going on around the rest of the country, a lot of games that have gone final, some that are still moving. Duke up on top of Syracuse 1-0 in the third. Baylor up over Morgan State 4-0 in the top of the third as well. Got some top 25 matchups coming up this afternoon. Cal takes on Georgia at 4:30. That's a 24-4 matchup. And hit well to right field if it's got enough, and it does. Alyssa Brito with the Oppo bomb. And this offense has come to life, to say the least. And that home run's brought to you by Oklahoma Oil and Natural Gas. Makes it 15-0 Oklahoma.
All gas, no breaks today.
Message received, would you
Message
say?
received, I do believe. That one got out in a hurry. An Oppo taco for Brito. Sending this one over right field.
And that will be Brito's 7th home run on the season. And looks like Liberty is going to go to the bullpen again. We're going to take a quick break. Sooners up 15-0. Liberty out of this inning. Sooners have scored every inning since the second, putting up a 5-run second inning, a 7-run third, and so far a 3-run fourth to make it 15-0 Oklahoma. Bachman enters the circle 1-1 on the season with 11.1 innings pitched. 7 strikeouts in 11 innings, so has that potential there, has some good velo. But along with that strikeout number, also 12 walks. So finding the zone has been an issue at times for Bachman. Jennings having a pretty good day 2 for 3, a single and a 2-run home run back in the second. But Bachman comes in and makes a statement with the strikeout of Tiare Jennings for the first out of the fourth.
It's got to feel good if you're Bachman, one, because it's Tiare Jennings, but two, because she really struggled to hit the strike zone last night. So to be able to come in from the pen and thread the needle.
Kinsey Hansen stands in as the second strikeout of a Sooner hitter here today. Nobody on and 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. Kinsey Hansen seeing that average creep up, 362. He's had a good day here today, 2 for 3 with a pair of runs scored. And an RBI. And laced right at Megan Fortner at first base, and 2 quick outs for Paige Bachman.
So laced. Sooners have had quite a few of these today. Just hit right on the line at somebody.
Hannah Core getting an opportunity and an at-bat here. Saw Core make a great play in game 1 against Louisiana out in right field. Struck well and could get down, and it will. And Hannah Core is aboard with a 2-out single. Her first hit of the day. As the freshman Ella Parker comes to the plate. Hannah Core's had a day, man. All the way around. Good to see.
Defensively, offensively, on base paths, I've been impressed even by just her decision making and speed.
Ella Parker 0 for 1 here. And ground ball right back to Bachman, and Bachman shuts it down out of the bullpen in relief. Sooners 3 outs away from it yesterday, and all weekend was we want to get as many players in different opportunities as possible. We want to use all of our pitchers. We want to use as many pitchers as possible. So I love that they're putting Kelly Maxwell in this situation. Again, you've got to know how to start a game, you got to know how to come in relief, and you got to know how to slam the door. Kelly Maxwell knows how to do all those things, but got to love saying, let's go, here's the ball. Senior MC Wilson stands in. Mary Claire Wilson. 0 for 1 here today. Everything else for the Sooners looks to stay the same defensively. Maxwell falls behind, 2 balls and a strike. So Sooners are 3 outs away from their 71st consecutive win. Watching that NCAA record just grow and grow, and ground ball up the middle. Avery Hodge not going to have enough time, and Wilson is aboard with a leadoff single. That'll bring up senior Sierra Kirsten. One of the lone base hits belongs to Kirsten in this game. Had a single back in the second. Only 2 hits for Liberty here in this ball game.
They were 2 hit back when they faced Kelly Maxwell yesterday. The only arm they faced.
And I'm with you. In the start yesterday and coming off of an emotional roller coaster game in game 1 against Miami of Ohio. Walk off, lots of high emotions, everything surrounding the day. Kelly Maxwell just came in and you felt a calm. Calm come over everything, and she really threw well in her start last night. Ahead here, a ball and 2 strikes. Sydney Sanders will take it herself. Sooners now 2 outs away from the second victory of the day. And bring up senior first baseman Megan Fortner. Fortner struck out back in the second looking. An opportunity here to get the Flames on the board, and struck well, and it's going to get out of here over the right field wall, and Megan Fortner gets the Flames on the board, breaks up the shutout with the 2-run shot, makes it 15-2 here in the 5th.
Keep taking your hacks. This is what Liberty does well, is they continue to fight. This is the grit, this is the fire that's in their bones, this is how they're coached. They're a well-tested team, and no matter the score, even with a 15-run deficit, they're still taking their hacks.
And you hear this a lot as freshman Jemiah Byram steps in, that teams take on the personality of their coaches sometimes, right? And I feel like Liberty is that team as well. Dot Richardson, one of the biggest competitors, most passionate players you'll ever see. Never say die, never stop. And this Liberty team has shown it year after year. As Kelly Maxwell falls behind 2 balls and no strikes to Byram. And on the other side of the ball, this is where you want to see Maxwell respond, right? Slam the door. Called strike, gets first strike. Maxwell has thrown here in a few pitches. Good to see her get back in the count. And hit well to the right side, and it's going to be back-to-back bombs for Liberty. And all of a sudden, this feels reminiscent of what we saw a day ago. And not just back-to-back bombs, home runs coming from the bottom half of this lineup. 15-3.
It's really interesting, almost the mirror of performances that we've seen between Kelly Maxwell and Nicole May. Nicole May coming out today, very calm, very in control, attacking the zone, which is what we saw yesterday from Kelly Maxwell. And then the roles are reversed here late in this game. Kelly Maxwell just missing too far over the meat of the strike zone, and against a team like Liberty, well coached, solid swings, have been battle tested year over year, has a tough RPI schedule.
Alyssa Brito does a good job of staying with it, but the throw is going to pull Sydney Sanders off the bag, and pinch hitter Bryn McManus will reach base. And what I believe,
I'd be shocked if this isn't ruled an error.
and I believe it was just ruled a hit. But I'm kind of with you, Aaron.
That's a play that Brito makes all day. That's a play that should be made.
Yep. And it will go down as a single from what I can see right now, but I'm with you, Aaron. We see Alyssa Brito make that play all day long, even with the bobble.
And I don't mean to take away from the hit, because Barrett struck the snot out of that ball. But that's a play that needs to be made.
And Reagan Barrett will re-enter to run at first base. And go into the headset. This is what, third time in this ballgame?
I think right now they're going to look at if the foot was off the bag. I actually had this thought when the play was made. I think the foot was on the bag when the ball was in the glove. Now, I don't know if it was in time. That is what I want to see and just double check. But I actually do think the foot was on the bag with the ball in the glove.
And we'll see.
This is an out.
And that was a quick check. Call on the field is safe at first base, and it will remain.
What do I know?
We do what we can do, right? We're doing our best. Call stands. McManus safe at first base, and Brito knocking the ball down again, struck well. But coming up with the throw, just taking Sydney Sanders off the bag. And it will be ruled an error. But lineup rolls back to the top of Rachel Coop. Biggest stick in this lineup, and Avery Hodge making her way into foul territory. And that is a huge out for Kelly Maxwell.
Got to feel like a good exhale to have your defense having your back right there after a tough swing straight to Brito at the hot corner. You give up 2 bombs, you give up 3 runs. You're just trying to slam the door shut here. What fight from Liberty late in this ball game. Continuing to chip away.
Brooke Roberts stands in to face Maxwell. And to try to keep this game alive for the Flames. Sooners 1 out away from a run rule victory. Roberts 0 for 2 here today. And Hansen gonna need to take a minute. Hansen looks to be all right, and looks like we watched Kinsey give umpires a minute. Good to see home plate umpire give her a second. We're back to it. A swing and a miss, and that will do it. Maybe not the outing Kelly Maxwell would have liked to have seen, but closing it with an exclamation point and the strikeout. OU wins 15-3.